Well, welcome to Watershed Talks, our November 25th segment here. Our virtual Thanksgiving town hall celebrating Watershed's stewards. We're super, super thankful for everybody taking time out with the Thanksgiving week. This is a time for all of us to be thankful about a lot of things in um, our watershed. And I want to specifically say thank you to Chris Henning and Heather Wilson for being great watershed uh, stewards. And they are going to be featured this evening. We're going to start off with Chris and just talk a little bit about what got her involved with all of this work. She's going to highlight some of the groups that she's working with. She's one of our retired people who are still working probably 60 or 70 hours a week. And she's involved with all these other amazing organizations. And she is now on the board of the Iowa division, which is our um, over oversees the 32 or 39 chapters here in Iowa. And then she's also on the Panora Conservation chapter board as well as many other associated boards. But I'm going to let her talk a little bit about why she's doing this and some of her favorite groups that she would like to recognize this Thanksgiving virtual town hall evening. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Um, let's start with just that brief interview or brief pictures so that
Okay.
people know that I am a farmer in Greene County, Iowa. I got interested I lived on a big tributary to the Raccoon when I lived in Des Moines. And I moved up here just before the big floods in 1993. Okay,
So
let's
which one do you want me to start off with, Chris?
let's start off with the moon, and then we'll look at.
Okay.
Okay, um, this gives you an idea of what it looks like from my back door. That's my prairie, which is a wetland, a farmable wetland that's in a CRP program. And the trees are in the foreground or in my yard, a mess. But in the background are along one of the four creeks that traverse my 145 acres. Four creeks that are all fed by tile from somebody else's farm field. Okay, and then we're going to show you what I do with that. Um, the first you see the harvest of corn, and you may notice how green it looks on the ground. The close-up is of the corn and the cover crops growing that were planted in August and were 4 to 6 inches tall, almost like a little golf course between each row of corn. And they will be green all winter and grow anytime that the air temperature is such that it allows for sunshine into the roots. So they'll be there feeding the microbes below ground and holding the soil from wind. And then the last picture over here to
This one?
no, that's the
Okay.
harvest.
Okay, so we
The
got that.
picture of there.
Oh,
There.
right here.
Okay. This is my farmer and me in the combine. He's 35, has 3 kids, the oldest being 9, a 5-year-old almost.
I'm listening to Chris's Zoom thing.
almost 6 o'clock, or six, and a 4-year-old, almost five, and lively kids. And two of them say they're going to be farmers. One girl and one boy are going to be farmers, and the other one is going to be a chicken lady. So, anyway, okay, you can stop sharing for me.
Okay,
Okay,
that's great, Chris. Thank you.
all right. Um, I live a mile and a half from the Raccoon River, which is water source for drinking water in Des Moines. And in 93, it was a flood, 8 inches of rain that tore gullies so deep that I could lose my tractor in them. And like I said, I had come from Des Moines right on the river, and the house that I lived in down there was full of water. So what I learned from that is that we all are connected in some way with what I do and what others do on their farms up here. I just let Adam in. Um, okay. So anyhow, I've spent the time since then. I grew up a farm kid, but I never really farmed, and I was gone 30 years. And so anyway, in the 30 years I've been here, I have learned what I can do with other groups to keep my farm here and to keep it out of your water. Um, so a few different hats, as Christine says. First of all, the Raccoon River Watershed Association, when we were fighting hog confinements. And Panora chapter kind of grew out of that, or whatever, morphed into that with Mike Delaney. And here in Greene County, recently, a new group called Greene County Friends of Parks. And then the farm organizations that I work with, Practical Farmers of Iowa and Iowa Farmers Union, both of whom work with, I'm not going to call it alternative farming so much as sustainable farming, rotations, and so forth, and less use of chemicals and fertilizers. And then what I've learned mostly is that none of us can do this alone, and none of us can make a difference by ourselves. Each group brings something essential. Farmer-led research from PFI, Iowa Farmers Union, a strong voice in policy, and then the group that was my first in talking to other landowners who were women. Women tend not to think that we should be able to tell the tenant what to do. And that may be true, but there are ways to work with your tenant so that the conservation can be a great part of what gets done. My farmer farms other land for other people, and some of them do cover crops, some of them don't. The farmer sometimes does, sometimes he doesn't. But what I think it does, that I do it and that he does it for me, is that it is an example of what can be done and how it can help. So I mentioned hog confinements early on in my little conversation here, and they built one really close to my house 2 years ago. And I was really, really worried because they're upstream from me or uphill from me. And so their tile ground with manure on their ground would end up in my creek. So we started testing with Nitrate Watch and the Izaak Walton Save Our Streams program. And damned if we didn't have a manure spill. And the neighbors knew that we were testing and called and said, "What's wrong with that creek? It's all black and stinky." Well, the DNR got involved. It was black and stinky. 600,000 gallons is a lot of manure. And it came 3 miles underground through the county tile. And thankfully for a beaver and his family and 3 beaver dams in the creek, it did not ever get to the Raccoon River. And it had to be pumped out and so forth and so on. So what I'm saying is that just knowing that we were doing testing, somebody said, "What? It did not come from that new hog confinement. It came from an old one. It came from an accident or mismanagement or whatever, but it basically emptied a whole basin full of hog manure at the time that he would have normally been getting ready to spread it anyway. It emptied it into the creek." So anyhow, um, uh, it goes without saying that I've seen firsthand how Iowa's ag practices affect our water quality. The flood, the silt, the fertilizer, nitrogen fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia in the fall, and tillage in the fall, all ends up in the water. And accidents happen. Big accidents, big spills, little spills. Um, that's why I water test. That's why I do cover crops, so forth and so on. I'm going to let Heather, who knows way more about the science of what we do, and I'm going to do a shout out to my friend Bob Rye, who's on there somewhere, for all of the times that he's collected water and we've checked to see how much nitrogen. And it rained this week. There'll be nitrogen in my creeks. I don't do nitrogen in the fall. I don't do tillage. There will be nitrogen in my creeks from everybody else's anhydrous. So, okay, Heather, take it away.
Thank you so much, Chris. And again, I think I forgot to mention that my name is Christine Curry, and I'm the outreach coordinator of the Iowa division. And I always forget to say that. So I just wanted to say that. And thank you, Heather. Heather's going to give a presentation. Then during her presentation, well, hopefully you'll be paying attention, but I do want to take out a few minutes this evening after Heather's finished for everybody to write in the chat box their favorite person, organization that they'd like to thank for all the contributions that they've been doing throughout Iowa. I have like 100 of people, I mean, at least 100 people I'd like to make a list about. And I think it'd be really fun if we collected a list of all the people and all the organizations that are doing great works for Iowa and beyond. If you live in another state, if there's an organization that you are pleased without them, we would not have this awareness or whatever. So let's let Heather take it away, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she's pleased and thankful for, and some of the highlights of this past year, since we're winding down the year here. Thanks, Heather.
Yeah, thank you. The theme is gratitude, and I am definitely grateful, Christine, for you, for all the work that you do for Iowa's Water, for the Iowa Division, and Chris, of course. Both of you guys belong on that list of people to be grateful for. Um, but yes, I am going to be talking a little bit about some of our things that we can all be proud of and grateful for, some of the wins. Before we started, Christine was talking about how a lot of times we're talking about the issues and the crises, and it's kind of nice today to be a little bit more positive, even though all of that stuff is still true and present. I am Heather. I'm the Midwest Save Our Streams coordinator with the Izaak Walton League of America. So, unlike Christine and Chris, I don't work just with the Iowa division. I actually work with our national office, which is headquartered out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. But I live and work remotely out of St. Louis, Missouri. So, used to be in Iowa. I was very close to my heart. I was just there last week for the Nature Summit. And I will just say some of these slides that I'll be sharing, if you were at the Nature Summit, you might think they're kind of familiar. Hopefully, I can keep it fresh. But I did just want to share some highlights from some of the volunteer monitoring that we do at the League. And I'm specifically going to talk about the Nitrate Watch program because there is a big story to tell with Nitrate Watch this year. Um, that's not to say that we don't have other programs. What Chris was talking about is our Save Our Streams chemical monitoring program, which lots of folks in Iowa have been involved with for years, where they're monitoring more than just nitrate. They're doing chloride, pH, phosphate, turbidity, you name it. And we will certainly be summarizing that information as well as this Nitrate Watch information in our annual reports, which come out next year. But Nitrate Watch does have a big story to tell. So let's dive in. For the uninitiated, I don't want to assume anyone is in the club, so to speak. Nitrate Watch is a citizen science program or community science program, meaning we're inviting in volunteers to do water monitoring with us. And our mission is to really make that as easy as possible and as accessible and inviting as possible. So since February of 2023, just under 3 years ago, we've been mobilizing volunteers by sending them Nitrate Watch kits upon request, and they can use the contents of those kits to measure the amount of nitrate in their drinking water or the surface water that they care about. And the goals of the program are to raise awareness about what is nitrate pollution, where is it coming from, what are the impacts on our health, our environment, etc. And to work with our volunteers and the data that they collect to identify places across the country where nitrate pollution is an issue. And then importantly, not just documenting a pollution problem, but also trying to help our volunteers and partner organizations advocate for solutions so that we can ultimately be a part of fixing this problem that we're documenting. And so, as you can imagine, I think most of the folks on this call are Iowans. There's been a lot of nitrate talk this year with the CISWRA report that came out this summer, the lawn watering ban in central Iowa. Even things like, the fish kill that happened in the Nishnabotna River last year, the resolution, if we can even call it that, came about this year. So there's been a lot of water quality news and a lot of it centering around nitrate pollution specifically. And we, the Izaak Walton League, kind of were wrapped up in that media attention as well. On the screen, I just have a few snippets. This is not even the entire list, but these are just some of the publications that featured Nitrate Watch in their coverage of this issue. And this was part of the reason that this was such a huge year for the Nitrate Watch program. Through coverage in local, state, and even some regional and I think even some national media, we were able to reach new audiences. And it was also possible because of connections with partner organizations, expanding our network, and really relying on those local and regional partners to be like a conduit to their audiences. In many cases, we were able to plug in volunteers to work with reporters, either to go out and monitor or just to talk and like share their story. And all of this brought more eyes to the program. And you know what that means? We sent out a lot more kits this year. So this graph is showing all of the Nitrate Watch kits that have been sent out since the beginning of the program. And of course, 2025 isn't over yet, but as you can see, we've easily exploded those years out of the water. So the dark blue is showing kits sent outside of Iowa. And you can see the dark blue portion is relatively the same year over year. I mean, this year is bigger, but by a reasonable amount. And then the light blue is kits sent to people in Iowa. And that number is just astronomical compared to last year and the year before. And that's in large part because of our partners and because of all of the hubbub and interest surrounding nitrate pollution in Iowa. So it's kind of making a good thing out of a bad thing. There's all of this pollution. It's causing people to, open their eyes. And it's a bad thing that we have to deal with it. But I'm actually very grateful, but that this is the way that over 1,000 Iowans chose to deal with it. That they saw an issue and they heard about a resource and they chose to access that free resource. If I haven't mentioned, it's free. And because of that, hopefully they are learning more, feeling more empowered, and just more educated about the water that they're either drinking or recreating or just living nearby. So the results of Nitrate Watch and all of our citizen science monitoring are reported online on our, again, free database, the Clean Water Hub. Cleanwaterhub.org is that website. If you want to go poke around, you don't need an account to access the data. You can go over there and see what people are reporting. And this map right here is our nitrate map. So it's pulling in nitrate data from Nitrate Watch and Save Our Streams. And since it's all nitrate, we can color code our results. So the red is higher values and the green is lower values, which green is good, red is bad. And as you can see just from a glance, Iowa's just covered. Minnesota, Wisconsin, they're catching up. Virginia's got a good amount of data too, and Maryland. But as we'll see, Iowa is kind of far, far and away leading the pack. So let's look just real quickly. I won't belabor this too long, but just since I know people might be interested, the results so far. So far, nationwide, we sent out over 2,000 kits this year, which is a lot compared to previous years. And those kits were received by people in 42 states. And those volunteers have reported over 3,700 data points at over 1,400 unique sites. And those sites, by the way, they might be their kitchen tap or their neighbor's kitchen tap, or they might be the, stream in the park that you like to visit, or the lake. So there's all different types of water bodies represented. And yeah, lots of data coming in. And just for fun, let's zoom in on Iowa. And as you can see, we've got some pretty good coverage across the state. Definitely some pockets in our higher population density areas. But you can see this right here, that a lot of this stuff is the Raccoon River Watershed Association, Chris and Christine and Bob and many others. We've got lots of new areas down here in Southwest Iowa. Some of this is like the Nishnabotna Water Defenders and their network. So Cedar Rapids, the city of Cedar Rapids has started sharing their data on the Clean Water Hub. So lots of fun developments this year and great coverage. Wish it wasn't so colorful, but that's the state that we live in. So as far as the results, we sent over 1,300 kits to Iowans, as you saw. That's over half of the kits sent anywhere. Also, over the half of the data came from Iowans, 2,000 plus data points so far. And for those of you who are familiar with Save Our Streams, this doesn't even include Save Our Streams chemical numbers. So when we do our annual report, we'll pull in all the nitrate data from all the different places. So this number is certainly much larger. And those are reported at 687 different sites. And this dichotomy between, a smaller number of sites and a larger number of data points means that folks are revisiting those sites and reporting data at the same place multiple times throughout the year, which we never tell people where or when to sample. We keep that very simple and let them choose. But we love to see people revisiting sites because it means there's a chance they can actually observe a trend. And it's also great to see that kind of practice, that schedule and routine forming, because that makes it easier for folks to follow through with using all the supplies that they're sent. And rather than just talk about the magnitude of data, this kind of dives into what the data actually was. This is super preliminary. Our annual report will probably have better and more thorough visuals than this, but this is January through the end of October, nationwide, just talking about surface water. So drinking water has been pulled out of this since that's kind of like apples and oranges. The red shaded section is readings over 10 parts per million. So that's readings that would have, if this is like being used for drinking water, this would exceed the drinking water standard. There's actually no standard for surface water nitrate nationwide, but many of our waterways are used for drinking water, like the Raccoon and the Des Moines, for instance. But moreover, 10 parts per million in surface water is a lot of nitrate. It's arguably way too much nitrate, definitely not naturally occurring, and so it's kind of a meaningful benchmark in that way too. But as you can see from this graph, nationwide, we saw a spike in the summer, kind of tailing down a little bit, but still slow to go down below that red area. So peaks in May and into June and July. As we look at just the nitrate data, it's the same shape, but just amplified because so much of the higher readings were coming in from Iowa. So you can see we have that peak starting in May, lingering really most of the time, if not, majority of the time, all the way through August, and even a few high readings September and October. So this is still preliminary. There's lots of data still coming in, but it's just an interesting and informative way to kind of begin to digest the data. Also fun this year and something to celebrate. I mentioned the Nishnabotna Water Defenders. I don't know if there's anyone from that group on this call, but they are a great, relatively new group that formed this year. They formed this spring, about a year after the fish kill that impacted their community. And in partnership with Nitrate Watch, they were trying to promote water quality monitoring, but also just education about water quality and specifically testing and knowing what's in your water. We put up some billboards in Avoca and Shenandoah, Iowa. And I believe last I heard, both of these are actually still up. So we're getting some bonus views, but they've been seen by thousands of people in that region. And we've received additional kit requests, but also lots of media attention, lots of just, eyeballs on this issue, which is a huge win in and of itself.
So Heather, can I ask a quick question? How long are those going to be up? Are they just up for a certain period of time? And
So I learned so much about billboards this year, Christine.
yeah,
So you pay by the month, and both of these were they paid up through a month. But in
okay,
the case of both of them, they actually haven't been replaced yet, and so until they're replaced, they're just up there. So I think there might be one coming in. It's one of the two. I'm not going to guess which one. One of them
right.
has a date to come down. It's not in the distant future, but the other one there's no replacement. So as long as that lasts, people are going to be learning about water quality as they drive down the highway.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah. And it was just a fun idea. It's great when, new folks can come in with fresh eyes and these ideas about, how to get more attention to the issues that we all know are so important.
Yeah, we've talked about billboards a lot, but we haven't followed through with that, and so boom, there it is.
Well, I'll give credit to Denise O'Brien from the National Water Defenders because she called me up one time and I think she was just thinking about it and she's like, "Is this possible?" Turns out it's possible.
And Jody Reese and Terry Langen have been done some phenomenal work as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going places for sure. So just a couple more slides, just trying to talk about some of the fun things we can celebrate from this year. Another sort of initiative that we had was to try and tell more of our volunteer stories. So we launched the Meet a Monitor blog series, and we've been able to feature several volunteers all throughout the year from different programs, different parts of the country. And the goal here is just obviously to show appreciation for our volunteers. You can't do enough of that, but also to put a human face on a kind of a nebulous issue such as water quality. Sometimes people think of it as something really distant or something that like, oh, that's not for me. That's for someone else to care about or to do something about. Like there's literally every kind of volunteer is participating in Nitrate Watch and Salt Watch and Save Our Streams. It's meant to be for everyone. And so we're just trying to express that. And also, these are great conversation starters if you're predisposed to sharing it with your legislator or amplifying it that way. So we use these as an off-ramp for advocacy as well, which I'm getting ahead of myself. As always, like I said, we're not trying to just document a problem, we're trying to be a part of the solution. And so this year and every year, we provide our volunteers with opportunities to obviously learn more, be more educated themselves, but also resources like our letter to the editor and op-ed guide, where they can learn how to write something like that if that's something that they want to practice. We provide action alerts when there's legislation on the table that we can want to funnel people towards reaching out about. We do template like letters to representatives, and we also, like I said, our staff will one-on-one work with volunteers who we think would be good advocates because of something that they've participated in or media that they were featured in. So this has been something that we've really taken a focus on this year, but it's always been a goal. So if you're not already familiar, I will just include how to participate. It's very simple. It involves going to nitratewatch.org and requesting a kit. The kits come with 25 nitrate test strips, which you can use again on your drinking water, surface water, whatever you are interested in. There's 25, so that's a lot of data points. Also, the instructions are super simple. They fit on these postcards. It takes just 30 seconds to read a test strip, for instance. So once you receive your kit, you head out to the waterway of your choice and you use your test strips to measure the nitrate. It involves dipping the strip in water, taking it out, and then after 30 seconds, comparing it to the colors on the bottle. And then importantly, reporting your data to the Clean Water Hub so that it can be viewed and understood alongside the data of everyone else and really help paint a picture of the nitrate problem in your area. And the hub is meant to be very easy to use, but I answer questions about it every day. So if you ever have any questions or want to learn more about the hub, just shoot me an email. And these next couple of slides are aimed at how can Izaak Walton League members get involved? But I know there's folks on this call who probably aren't a member yet, which if you want to become a member, Christine can help you do that. But even if you're just a part of a different organization or just curious about how you might be able to interact with this program, some pointers. So it begins with just learning and sharing what this program is. So sharing what the Nitrate Watch program is, sharing our website, our fact sheets, which dive into different sort of facets of the Nitrate Watch, or the nitrate issue, whether it's drinking water impacts or environmental impacts, the economic impact. We have a fact sheet about all these things. And we also have on YouTube, the Izaak Walton League YouTube channel, we have an introduction to Nitrate Watch where you can hear me talking about what Nitrate Watch is, but it gives a pretty good overview of, the sources of nitrate, the impacts on all those different aspects of life, what the program is, and how to get involved. So those are a good starting point if you're just trying to get others involved. Obviously, you can participate by requesting a kit. Something that a lot of people maybe don't even realize, but you don't need to be reporting data to be learning from and even using the data. So going to the Clean Water Hub to explore, zoom in, click around, see what's going on, that is accessible to anyone at any time. Next is advocating. So advocacy, that might mean a lot of things to different people because it really runs the gamut, but spreading the word, sharing what the program is, sharing what the data has been, or what data has been reported, that's an important piece of the puzzle. Even if you're not necessarily monitoring, you can be amplifying this issue, but also the program. You can sign up for action alerts so that you can be notified when things are coming across the table that we want our volunteers in our network to be speaking up about. You can also find advocacy resources like the ones I mentioned earlier, our various guides and things, templates, at the Izaak Walton League's website. iwla.org/resource is our resource library. And finally, you can support the Nitrate Watch program. We provide these kits for free, but obviously they're not free to us. So we're super grateful to all the donors and the grantors, funders who have who have enabled this program to exist for free for so long. And if you want to join that elusive or exclusive club, you can do so at iwla.org/nitrate sponsor. And this is a link that Izaak Walton League chapters can use to request outreach supplies. This is not a perk that's exclusive to chapters. If organizations or even just individuals want to request stuff, you can shoot me an email. This form is really optimized for chapters, but if you found yourself there and you filled it out, we would probably be able to help you anyway. But anyway, this is a place where you can request postcards or stickers to hand out if you're doing an event, or if you just have a chapter house and you want to have things on hand so that you can, point people over there if they're interested in the environment and water quality. We are happy to send those to you for free. And then, of course, the spirit of gratitude, thanking our funders who I've already mentioned are graciously making it possible for this program to remain free. and all of our amazing partner organizations, many of whom are in Iowa, who do so much to enable monitoring, encourage others to get involved, amplify the work that is being done by the league, and just do so much on their own. That's so important for Iowa and beyond. So I'll stop talking now and turn it back over to Christine.
Wow, Heather, that's great because some of those organizations that you just had on that slide are exactly what we're talking about. They are our strong partners, and we all cross over. As Chris pointed out, she's a member or an active board member with probably 10 different groups at any given time. And here she is retired, but she pretty much is working 60 or 70 hours a week, going to all these meetings and advocating and working on all the things we have going on here. So I do want to take just a give you a little bit of an update. So we have active fundraising campaign going on for the University of Iowa. That is because the funding for our statewide monitoring system has been eliminated from their budget. So they're going to be short coming up in the middle of this coming year with funding to support that. There are many, many groups working really hard on policy. I noticed that Adam Shriver is here with the Harkin Institute. He is working very closely with IEC, the Iowa Environmental Council, and some other groups with Progress Iowa and the Food and Water Watch organization to work on policy issues. And they're actively working with follow-ups from the CISRA report. Adam's been on Watershed Talks. A couple of you might remember that. And so the Izaak Walton League, the Iowa division, stepped up to the plate just really to use this opportunity to raise awareness and give public notice that it's not okay. We do care, and we're going to just not continue to do funding from the state or trying to fund this monitoring system with public funds or a crowdsource funding. But we do want to show the legislators that this is not okay, and we're trying to create a stopgap. And since then, Polk County Conservation Board of Supervisors has allocated $200,000 toward the monitoring program. And we've raised $35,775. We've funded 4 monitors. And I just want to share my screen. I'm going to put Chris's down. I got to find my little video. I put a couple things in the chat box that I wanted to share. And I'm going to share my screen when I get that set up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and okay. So we have our Facebook page that's live.
I'm Tanya Bird. I'm an Iowan, I'm a mother, and I'm a grandmother. All I want
Christine, I
for
don't think
my
your
kids
screen
and
is
your
sharing.
kids
Oh,
and
it's
our
not? Okay,
grandchildren
thanks.
You can hear it, though.
grow up healthy.
Is it not
Clean
sharing?
water to drink and
Just
safe
the
drinking
audio.
to stay in.
Oh,
But right
hold on
now,
here.
our water is at
For some reason. Technology. Can you see it now? Okay.
risk. The University of Iowa statewide. I'm Tanya Bird. I'm an Iowan, I'm a mother, and I'm a grandmother. All I want for my kids and your kids and our grandchildren is to grow up healthy with clean water to drink and safe streams to play in. But right now, our water is at risk. The University of Iowa statewide water monitoring program, which is the largest and the most advanced in the country, has lost $500,000 in funding. This system also tracks floods, and it has literally saved lives. Our first challenge, fund 5 monitors. We have just an absolutely great start. Now, let's finish strong and complete this first challenge. Each monitor costs $85.75 a year to operate, covering maintenance, data analysis, and ongoing support. That is why I'm standing with the Iowa division of the Izaak Walton League and with Iowans all across our state to raise awareness and the funds needed to keep this vital program alive. So please join us. Donate today at GoFundMe. Help protect the program that protects life.
Okay, so that was one of the that wasn't the finished video, but they were out they're on our social media with our Facebook page and so forth. So I would like to take that opportunity to just say that I'm proud of the Iowa division for taking this lead. We were founded on clean water over 100 years ago for different reasons. And it's not to raise money for ourselves, obviously. Well, indirectly it is, but this is really a campaign to get others on board and to show people that this is not okay, as I said before. Adam, are you present? Are you still with us? Yeah, it looks like you are, but are you able to just talk a little bit about some of the upcoming events if you are present? Maybe sometimes people are doing other things while they're
Adam
multiple.
posted in the chat that he's not really able to talk. He
Oh,
sounds like
okay,
he's
okay, got
on the
it, got
road.
it. Okay,
I'm not
okay.
sure.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you for listening, though. Okay, we will have some updates on our Facebook page, and I will send those out to everybody on in here in on our Zoom this evening. So without that, I'd love for people to ask some questions just about our some of the things we've talked about. And while you're thinking about it, if you could put into the chat box, like I'm just going to shout out to like Adam with the Harkin Institute, the Iowa Environmental Council, Progress Iowa, the Food and Water Watch, CCI, and all the groups, several of the groups that Heather had on, the Nishnapatna Water Defenders, the Driftless Water Defenders with Chris Jones and LaRue, and there's just all kinds of other people. So I would absolutely love for everybody, if you have somebody special that has dedicated time to for this in Iowa, and or other organizations that you think are doing great work, it would be great if you wanted to list them, because I think it'd be fun to come up with a piled list of obviously if you want to take out a few minutes to do that. Yeah, Sierra Club Iowa chapter, perfect.
And Linda has a great one there. Linda Wild, do you want to read it or do you want me to? She's thankful for the Outdoor Alliance of Story County for funding in support of Story County and Hamilton County water quality testing on the South Skunk River and Iowa Creek, and also for their great bond issue that they passed for the environment. That's wonderful work over there. Climate Land Leaders, Terry Langen.
Excellent. They're on my list as well. And
So I've got a couple more while somebody else types something in the chat.
okay.
So besides White Rock Conservancy, the
That's
Greene County Friends of Parks, Practical Farmers of Iowa, Iowa Farmers Union. And I think you mentioned the Izaak Walton 39 chapters, different strengths and levels of engagement. Some of them are hook and bullet people. Some of them are deeply involved in conservation.
yes, I did put that into the chat box.
Yeah.
If and it would be great. Dale Braun is our president and of the Iowa division, and he's also on the national board. And he's done a phenomenal job keeping everybody motivated and on track. And he's had some recent health issues, and I would just love to have, especially our Izaak Walton League members, if you haven't contributed to the GoFundMe, if you could even put in $5 or $10. It would be great for Dale to see that we got a little bit of movement this evening. We had some really good input during the
Nature Summit.
the Iowa Nature Summit. We raised quite a few big funds, and the Lynn County chapter actually funded a full monitor. So I want to do a shout out to the Lynn County chapter too. So thank you, Lynn County. And
thank you, Jody Reese, for I think it was Water, IOWATER.
And if there's anyone out there who participated in Iowater and you're yearning for the days where you could view that data, it's on the Clean Water Hub. So you can go visit your old data and even contribute to it if you want to.
yeah, that's great.
Prairie Rivers of Iowa.
That's another great one.
Yep.
Yep.
Rick Deed, Stanhog.
Yep. The University of Iowa and the CCI. Oh, great. Those are all super. Kim, that's great. Thank you. That's fantastic. And Rick.
Christine, you might want to put up either the Facebook post or something to show what the water monitoring GoFundMe looks like.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'll do that while you're while we get some others to do inputs. That's great. Oh, and I see we just have a new video that just got posted just now. So I'm going to share my screen right now and we'll watch this video together. Okay, I've got to turn the.
Is now at risk. The University of Iowa's statewide water monitoring. Across Iowa, our rivers and lakes connect us all, the water we drink, the places we love, and the life that depends on them. But that lifeline is now at risk. The University of Iowa's statewide water monitoring program, the largest and most advanced system of its kind in America, has lost $500,000 in funding. Without support, this vital network could go dark, leaving Iowa without the trusted data we need to protect our water, our health, and our economy. That's why I stand with the Iowa division of the Izaak Walton League and with Iowans across the state in a campaign to raise awareness and the funds needed to keep this program alive. Because this isn't about politics, it's about responsibility, it's about science, and it's about stewardship. It's about ensuring that Iowa's future remains healthy, resilient, and prosperous for generations to come. We're calling on Iowans everywhere, families, educators, farmers, business owners, and community leaders to join this effort. And we invite policymakers at every level to stand with us in keeping this world-class system alive. Together, we can protect the program that protects life. Join us and donate today at GoFundMe, because every drop and every voice matters.
Yay.
Hey, that's a great one.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and I want to play Sarah Green's with the Iowa Environmental Council, because these are the finished
The
videos.
places we love, and the life that across Iowa, our rivers and lakes connect us all. The water we drink, the places we love, and the life that depends on them. But that lifeline is now in danger. The University of Iowa's statewide monitoring system program has lost $500,000 in funding. This monitoring system provides critical data about water quantity and quality. It provides the science we need to make informed decisions about protecting Iowa's waterways. Without this support, this vital network could go dark, leaving Iowa without the data and accountability we need to protect our water and our health. This responsibility belongs to the state, and the state should be the one to fit this bill. However, so far, state lawmakers have not stepped up to the plate. This campaign from the Iowa division of the Izaak Walton League builds awareness and emphasizes the need for policymakers to act. Private donations should not foot the bill long-term for basic water quality data in our state. This is not political, it's essential. It's about science, truth, and the shared responsibility to ensure clean water for every Iowan. We're calling on everyone who cares about Iowa, families, educators, farmers, and community leaders to step up and take action now. Because once this program is gone, the damage cannot be undone.
Classic example of that would be HRT with.
Okay, so and then this is Tanya's finished video, so I'll just do that real quick because it talks about
I'm an Iowan, I'm a mother, and I'm a grandmother. All I want for my kids and your kids and our grandchildren is to grow up healthy with clean water to drink and safe streams to play in. But right now, our water is at risk. The University of Iowa's statewide water monitoring program, which is the largest and the most advanced in the country, has lost $500,000 in funding. This system also tracks floods, and it has literally saved lives. Our first challenge, Fund 5 monitors. We have just an absolutely great start. Now, let's finish strong and complete this first challenge. Each monitor costs $85.75 a year to operate, covering maintenance, data analysis, and ongoing support. No, that is why I'm standing with the Iowa division of the Izaak Walton League and with Iowans all across our state to raise awareness and the funds needed to keep this vital program alive. So please join us. Donate today at GoFundMe. Help protect the program that protects life.
When they announced.
Oh, there we go. All right. So
another one in the chat. We've got actually two: Nancy Falcom, Wabasha, Minnesota, Hurstville Nature Area, and Jackson County Conservation. Thank you for the learning opportunity at your nature area. And then Gregory, not an Iowa group, but we use and interpret data from Iowa and other Mississippi River Basin states at the Great Lakes to Gulf Virtual Observatory. Thank you, Gregory. We appreciate your efforts as well.
That's so great. Those are really good. And of course, Heather had a long list. So you can see the efforts that we're putting into this. And I would really appreciate if everybody could go out to our Facebook page, which I'll put in the address. We got our Facebook page got hacked about a year ago, and we were desperately trying to get it back on. And we didn't have very much luck, and we had like 800, I think, people on it, but we're trying to get that back. And so I had set up a group page. But if everybody could, I guess, like or follow us, that would be fantastic, and share it with your friends.
Do you have the QR code for the crowdfunding?
I put the link already up further.
Pop it in again. Well,
Yeah.
there's your Facebook post or
Right
Facebook
there.
profile. And why don't you put the link for the monitor?
I will.
Okay.
I got you covered. There you go.
Oh, you're a doll.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So Heather's got her assistant with her tonight. That's nice. Fantastic.
In a mood.
Do we have any questions? Would anybody like to make any comments or any questions? I'm so grateful again for everybody that took time out to be with us this evening. And I'm wishing everybody a fabulous Thanksgiving where we can be thankful and grateful for everything, from our land to our water to the people that are doing great things. The indigenous people took care of our land for thousands of years, and in the past couple hundred years, we've made a mess out of it. And so now many of us, and there's been many of us before us that have tried to fix those things, including the initial efforts of the Izaak Walton League, and the efforts of the Upper Mississippi River Wildlife and Fish Refuge that was protected over 100 years ago. We had our anniversary last year. And without that protected area, we would not know the Mississippi River as we know it today. So we're super grateful for all the efforts and with everybody's contributions, and we want to continue to do that. So please support others that are doing great works and thank them for all the work they're doing. And do we have anything else? Anybody else? I guess not.
Just a big
So-
thanks and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, everybody enjoy your evening and your week. And next month we have Carrie Gillum with us. She's an international environmental reporter. She's written 2 books, Whitewashed and the Monsanto Papers, all on the glyphosate issues. She's going to be covering our national news that Iowa's been. So that should be really fun. I'll have that information up soon, and we'll share that out again. So thank you again, everybody, and have a beautiful week and much gratitude. We'll sign off.